Hello, everybody. This is Harold's Prog Rock Show Part 5. As you know, the rule is one album for each artist or band. Today I will do a number 121 up until 140. So let's move on. The first album I do is Tony Banks, A Curious Feeling. Tony Banks is, of course, the keyboard player from Genesis, and this is his first solo album from 1979, recommended, same quality as Mike Rutherford with Small Creeps Day, which I mentioned in another episode. Okay, Roger Waters, his latest album. Is this the life you really want? It's a good album. It's I can recommend it. It's really good. Okay, then we go to Wobbler. Wobbler made a new album last year. It's called Dwellers of the Deep, and as all other albums from Wobbler from Norway, the album is great. Then we go to Radiohead, 1979, 1977, no, sorry, 1997. The album is called OK Computer, and it's the album with lots of progressive elements. Then we go to Spain, Crack, Citodo Hijra Crack, really great album from the 70s, and lots of mellotron. I can highly recommend it. And we go to Transatlantic, the newest album, The Absolute Universe, with on drums Mike Portnoy, on bass Pete Travawas, and Ryan Stolt on guitar, and Neil Morse on vocals and keyboards. And we go to the latest album from Liquid Tension Experiment. This is part 3, and it's in fact Dream Theater without vocals. On bass we have Tony Levin, famous from King Crimson, and Peter Gabriel. Then we go to Sons of Apollo, also with Mike Portnoy on drums, and they made 2 albums. This is the first one. It's called Psychotic Symphony. Then we go to a classic, a Meatloaf, his first album, Bad Out of Hell. The songs are made by a man called Jim Steinman, who sadly passed away earlier this year, and it's very famous, this album. The hit single is Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Then we go to Fire Ballad, Ninth on the Bald Mountain, also from the 70s, and great album. Let's move on. We go to the United States of America with the album Lift, the band Lift, and the album is called The Moment of Hearing. On this album are in fact 2 albums, and the album which is fantastic is Caverns of Your Brain, typical 70s prog rock. And we go to Presto Ballet from the United States of America. This album is called The Lost Art of Time Travel, and it's a great album. And we go to Led Zeppelin, very famous album. This is part 4. And on this album are Stairway to Heaven, The Battle of Evermore, and the great When the Levee Breaks. Real classic, highly recommended. Then we go to Unreal City from Italy, and the album is called La Crudeltà di Aprile. And it's a very powerful album with lots of mellotron, great guitars, and fantastic music, very progressive. Then we go to the early 70s, to a band called Il Balletto di Bronzo. The album is called Ice, and lots of mellotron on this album, a real classic from Italy. Then we go to England, the Buggles. This is their second album, and the album is called The Adventures of Modern Recording, and the album is with Trevor Horn on vocals and Jeff Downes on keyboards. Trevor Horn and Jeff Downes went to Yes in 1980 to make the Drama album, and many years later they made the Fly From Here album, also from Yes. Then we go to Robert Barry. Robert Barry has worked together with Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and he made, after the passing away of Keith Emerson, this album, and all music is written by Keith Emerson and Robert Barry, and it's very powerful. And if you like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, this is really great stuff. Also influences from the first Free album, which was formed by Robert Barry, Carl Palmer and Keith Emerson. After this one he made another 3.2 album, and that was released this year and called Third Impression. This album is actually called The Rules Have Changed. Very great album, highly recommended. Then we go to Minimum Vital from France with the album Sarabanda, and it's from the 80s. Then we go to Italy, early 70s. The band is called Metamorphosi, and the album is Inferno, typical progressive rock from the early 70s from Italy. Then we go to the last one, number 140. The album is made by Jeff Downes. Jeff Downes, famous with Yes and Asia and the Buggles, as earlier mentioned. And the album is called The Light Program. It's from 1987, and lots of keyboards on this long album. Okay, there you have it, part 5 from Harold's Progressive Rock Show. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time. Thank you.